Welcome to another edition of the Boxing Hour with Marc Abrams, powered by theboxinghour.com and 15rounds.com. The two, not one, but two leading boxing websites on the internet with all the news, reviews, videos, audio, columns, opinion, everything you need. Your one-stop shop for your boxing filler, theboxinghour.com and 15rounds.com. We have a huge show for you this week. Not one, not two, but three guests for you this week. We will have Steven Navarro, an exciting young prospect for Top Rank, Andy Dominguez, who fights in the main event on Dazn on Friday night from Atlantic City, and Shane MosleyJr., who's looking for a fight. Very interesting interview with Shane MosleyJr., but that's later in the program. This past weekend was an incredible, huge weekend. And the biggest one of all was the heavyweight championship of the world. Alexander Usyk once again became the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world with a fifth-round stoppage, his second stoppage win over Daniel Dubois. That took place in front of over 90,000 people at Wembley Stadium in London, England. It was a fight that Usyk dominated, dropped Dubois twice. Upon the second knockdown, Dubois, I don't know if you want to say he quit or whatever, but he did not want to continue. Second time he's been stopped by Usyk. And I think what was most interesting about Dubois is what came out afterwards. The guy was having a party in his house before he went to the venue at Wembley Stadium. I mean, it's crazy. Like 60, 70 people over there. They're having a good time. Usually guys are holed up in their hotel. They're resting. They're just relaxing, focusing on the fight. He's entertaining like 70 guests. I don't know if they were drinking or doing whatever they were doing. Then there was another rumor that he actually walked to the venue from his place in London. I don't know. Daniel Dubois got a lot of thinking to do if he wants to be, again, a serious player. I mean, made millions of dollars in his last bunch of fights, Anthony Joshua fight, Hrgovic, this fight. So, I don't know. Maybe he's a guy who he's got the silk pajamas on and doesn't want to take them off. So, I don't know. But for Usyk, I mean, Usyk owns England. 2 wins over Fury. 2 wins over who else he beat? He's beaten Chisora. He's beaten Joshua twice. Usyk and now Dubois twice. This guy is. I know there's a couple others in there that he beat. He's sensational, Usyk. I don't know. There's been a lot of this week talking about he's the greatest of all time. This, that, the other. I don't know. I'm a Larry Holmes guy. I'm a Lennox Lewis guy. Those guys, and even Vladimir Klitschko. The thing about Usyk's style, he's not like a bum rushing style or a huge puncher. Usyk, Vladimir could sit back and jab him all night. I don't know. Well, but they'd be fascinating fights to watch if they ever happen. They happen in our mind. Fantasy fights. That's why they're there. But Usyk again, 24-0, 15 knockouts. Dubois falls to 22-3 with 21 knockouts. And like I said, Usyk can pick and choose what he wants. He can retire. I mean, there's something about third fight with Fury. I don't know. Joseph Parker's a mandatory. Parker deserves it, but I mean, does that fight excite you so much? I don't know. We'll see in the next few months what Alexander Usyk does. In the co-feature, former WBO cruiserweight champions Lawrence Okolie. He won a one-sided unanimous decision over Kevin Lorraine. His scores were 99-91 and 100-90 twice for Okolie, who's now 22-1. Lorena falls to 31-3. Saturday night in Las Vegas, Manny Pacquiao turned back the clock. He looked really good against Mario Barrios, had to settle for a draw. I would say it was split 50-50 in terms of who people thought won the fight. It just looked like Pacquiao, maybe because he exceeded expectations in the fight. He looked like I don't say the old Pacquiao, but there were a lot of flashes of the old Pacquiao. And like we said, it went to a draw with Barrios. Pacquiao now. Where's Pacquiao's record? There is. Pacquiao is now. Where did his record go? Barrios is 29-2, and there's Pacquiao's record: 62-8, 339 knockouts. Scores were 115, 113 for Barrios, 114, 114 twice. Pacquiao's going to fight on, and any of these fights, especially the PBC guys, I see Gervonta Davis. I don't know if Davis, he's got other problems, but maybe him move up to maybe say 143, 144 pounds. That would be an interesting fight. I've seen Rolly Romero's name being bandied about. Again, these are just, interesting fights, fun fights will come. I hate to use that term, fun fights, but these fun fights, fun promotions. Maybe there's a rematch with Barrios. I think both guys want to prove to see who the better man was. So if my money is there's going to be a rematch, and I don't know as of this recording what the numbers were in terms of the pay-per-view. But, it was a good fight. I enjoyed it. I actually watched it from a hotel room in Pittsburgh after I broadcast fight. We got back to my room just as they were doing the ring walks. Perfect timing. I also stopped off at a fast food restaurant. Perfect, 11 o'clock at night. Can't beat it. Co-features saw Sebastian Fundora for the second time obliterate Tim Tszyu, 23-1-1 now for the Towering Inferno, the soon-to-be Harvard student, Sebastian Fundora. Tszyu falls at 25-3. Fundora drops Tszyu in the first round and never really looked back. Tszyu had a couple moments here and there, landed a few decent shots. But Fundora, after the loss of Mendoza, he seems to be really hitting his long strides now. And Sebastian Fundora is, he's the force to be reckoned with in the 154-pound division. Over on Dazn, Bam Rodriguez retained his WBC and Ring Magazine the Super Flyweight Championship with a 10th round stoppage over Fumalele Kafu. That took place in Frisco, Texas, at the Dallas Cowboys training facility. Saw Jerry Jones, hobnobbing with fans. Instead of trying to get a deal done with Micah Parsons, actually, I don't want to get a deal with Parsons. Let Parsons and be pissed off all year, and then his number goes up, and maybe he feels disrespected. Maybe he wants to come to Philadelphia. He's a Penn State guy, so who knows? That's another show for another day. Bam Rodriguez, he could have looked past this guy. He's got the fight with Fernando Martinez already set for November 22nd, but he looks solid in stopping the South African challenger. 2:06 of round 10 at the Ford Center in Frisco, Texas. Bam Rodriguez continues on his winning ways. Unbeaten on Friday, unbeaten big heavyweight Gurgan Hovhannisyan goes to 9-0 with 8 knockouts. The Armenian, by way of LA, stopped Chris Thomas, who said guy was a super middleweight, fighting about 240 pounds. He actually looked like Chris Thomas I knew looked like he ate Chris Thomas. Like I said, a stoppage victory in round number 3 for Hovhannisyan as he goes to 9-0 with 8 knockouts. This past Thursday night, pretty good fight on the Golden Boy series. Manuel Gucci Manny Flores and Jorge Chavez fought to a spirited 10-round draw. Scores were 95-95 on 2 cards and 97-93 for Chavez, which is probably what the fight should have been, maybe 96-94. I thought Chavez won the fight. He controlled the action. Even though it said Flores threw more, landed more, I thought Chavez should have got the Duke in that fight. But I think we may see a rematch of this fight. Very good fight, entertaining fight. I think both guys would want it. And like I said, Chavez, who is now 14-1, Flores goes to 21-1. Thought Chavez should have got his hand raised. This week, not as big a lineup as there was last week, but I'll be at Madison Square Garden to watch Xander Zayas try to win the WBO, the vacant WBO Junior Middleweight Championship when he takes on Jorge Garcia. That will headline the final ESPN broadcast for Top Rank in their series. So there'll be a lot of questions in the Garden that night about what's going to happen next for Top Rank. I'm sure that's going to be a lot of the backdrop of what is going to be going on press row beside the fights, and plus the co-feature fight. Bruce Shushu Carrington takes on Matthias Haida for the WBC Interim Featherweight Championships, and variations of 2 world title fights to end things on ESPN for Top Rank. Kicked off the televised broadcast, Emiliano Fernando Vargas returns against Ecuador's Alexander Espinosa in an 8-round junior welterweight fight. So good, nice triple header featuring the future of top-ranked Xander Zayas, Bruce Carrington, Emiliano Fernando Vargas. Couple him with Keyshawn Davis and a few of the other rising prospects, Abdullah Mason, and the cupboard looks good for Top Rank going forward. Before the ESPN portion takes place, ESPN Plus will televise a full undercard, and one of the key fighters on the ESPN Plus is an undefeated fighter by the name of Steven Navarro. I had a chance to talk to young Navarro, one of the youngest prospects in the game, and this is how it sounded. Now join me on the line is...
Oh, wait, are you recording? I don't think
yes.
You're sure?
Yep.
Okay, there you go. Okay, sorry. All right.
Now join me on the line is undefeated super flyweight Steven Navarro, who on July the 26th is back in the ring at the Theater of Madison Square Garden as he takes on Christopher Rios in an 8-round bout in just his 7th pro fight, 6-5 knockouts. Steven, how you doing today?
I'm doing amazing. It's a blessing to be here, and yeah, thank you for having me.
To talk about this fight, as we tape this, we're about 10 days out. What are your thoughts on the fight?
You know what? I'm excited for it. I'm excited to showcase my skills, my hard work, my discipline, and just be able to have fun in the ring. That's the main thing.
All of your fights have been, out west, Arizona, Vegas, California. You excited to display your talents, not only in the East, but more specifically the Madison Square Garden Theater, where there's been so many big fights over the years?
Oh, yes, man. I mean, there's so much history. The fact that I'm going to be in the same arena that Ali was in at a time it's a blessing, just, one step closer, or just one other checkbook I was able to check off. So I'm excited for it.
You've been tabbed on a lot of prospect lists. I know I see, some people saying maybe one of the best fighters, around 20, 21 years old. I know you're 21 now. How does it feel to see your name on lists like that so early in your career? And does that add any extra pressure?
I mean, we live in pressure. I mean, I was born in it. I believe I was created in it. So I don't think there's any pressure that can phase me. I'm excited. I mean, it's great to be a part of those conversations, but I want to be part of the greats. That's what I want to be a part of. I want to be worthy to be a part of those type of conversations, and I mean, that's just a step closer to that. So yeah, I'm just working to show everybody that I'm worthy of that conversation.
You mentioned that you've been born into it. Obviously, Uncle Jose fought for the world title 4 times as an Olympian. Carlos was a real quality fighter. Having those guys around, what's the biggest piece of advice you've got from your family about navigating the waters of being a professional boxer?
It's just continuously being a student of the game, never believing my own hype, just never being comfortable. We the Navarro family, we do believe in having reps of uncomfortable things, just embracing that and continuously growing. So that's one big thing that I've always taken. And I mean, it's a blessing. I learned from the goods and the bads. Pardon me. Sorry about that. Did I lose you?
No, I'm good. We're here.
I'm constantly learning from them, from the goods, bads, experience that they've gone through. It just is all passed down to me, and I'm gonna make sure that it has a strong finish to it.
At age 21, how much of their careers were you able to watch? I guess live in person. I don't know if I know Jose, he was a former Olympian. I don't know if you had to watch most of his fights on film or whatever. How much did you kind of go through the process with them following their career?
You know what? I've seen a lot of it. I mean, I've seen old clips when he went to the Olympics. I've seen when he fought as a pro. I used to watch with my grandpa. I apologize, who passed away not too long ago. Francisco Facio. I didn't know he was related to me. When I met my Tío Jose, it was like meeting a superhero. It was like meeting one of my celebrities, I guess, that I looked up to. And I mean, it was a blessing. I mean, I've always studied the sport, and I really embraced it. I really did.
At 11-2, Christopher Rios. He's I guess your third consecutive opponent. 7-1. Your last opponent was 15-1-2. Obviously, with the good amateur career you had, I wouldn't say fast track, but being moved appropriate. Obviously, you got the best matchmakers in the business with Brad Goodman and Bruce Trampler. But you're fighting guys, real veteran guys with good quality records so early in your career. Is this something that you envisioned when you started?
Yes, of course. A lot of people do tell me that I'm on the fast track, but if I'm being honest, I'm just on track. All of this was written out before I even went pro. I knew what I was destined to be, where I'm going. So I'm just showing up and I'm embracing it. And I'm making sure to show everybody, whether it's my team who's behind me, my promotional company, anybody, that what they seen in me was true.
Uh, so what does your opponent Christopher Rios bring to the table?
Oh, he has grit, he has heart. Um, I believe he's a strong kid. Um, but it's more about what Steven Navarro has to bring, and that's skills. There's levels to this, and I'm ready to showcase the level I'm on. I'm ready to step it up even more.
I'd say up to the last maybe decade or so, the lighter weight divisions were not featured as much. Maybe since Chocolatito and more recently Naoya Inoue. It's kind of the smaller weight divisions have been really featured, and there's some really good fights that have taken place over the last good decade or so. How excited are you that there's been a little bit more of a spotlight placed on the divisions where you're going to be fighting?
What? If I'm being honest, growing up, I never really understand that there wasn't that much spotlight on these divisions. I've always studied just fighters, good fighters in general. But honestly, it's a blessing to be able to have that platform on this weight now. Um, my manager and I have always said it's not the weight that makes the fighter makes the weight. And yeah, I mean, it's great. Like I said, I've always studied every type of fighter, whether it was a one-away fighter, Finito Lopez, to Usyk was a heavyweight. Yeah.
Where do you? I mean, obviously you're campaigning at 115, and because there's 3 and 4 pounds in between certain divisions. How many divisions do you see yourself? We're having this conversation 10 years from now. Where do you see yourself maxing out?
If I'm being honest, I'd like to become a 4 to 5 division world champion. I mean, I'd say on a good day, I'm 5'7". Um, I'm currently fighting at 115 pounds. I'm good at this weight as of now, but I do see myself growing. I'm only 21 years young. We always joke about it. I haven't gotten my man bones yet, so I'll be growing for sure. But if I could, my body allows me to, I would like to be a 5 division world champion, maybe 6. I'm chasing for greatness. There's great fighters like Pacquiao who train at the same gym as I, and they set that standard, and I want to beat it.
And real quickly, before we let you go, how much of that's an inspiration to you, where you saw a guy like Pacquiao start so light, so small, and go all the way up to 154? Not saying that you're going to do that, but he's a guy who navigated his way through a whole bunch of divisions. It can be done, and is that something that you kind of look up to?
Um, I wouldn't say I wouldn't say I'd look up to, but it's something that for sure I admire. As a fighter, when you see another fighter do something, I'm gonna speak on my behalf. It's like, okay, that's doable. Let's do it. I'm up for it. I'm chasing greatness. That's what I'm chasing, and it's just like I said, yeah, it's just showing that it's something capable of doing, and I'm gonna do it.
What do you want to say to the fans in closing before we see you next Saturday night, July 26th at the Theater Madison Square Garden?
I just want to say, hold on to your seats. I mean, I'm a kid who's constantly growing, and things are just gonna get better. If you think I was good in my last fight, wait till this one, and it'll be a lot scarier in a couple more.
And
So stay tuned.
where would fans follow this next emerging star, Steven Navarro, if they want to follow your journey on the social media?
So I'll be on Instagram, TikTok, soon to be YouTube and Twitter. But it's team.s.navarro. Join the team, guys.
We'll see you next Saturday night at the Theater Madison Square Garden. Thank you for a few minutes of time, and we'll talk to you along the way.
Thank you for having me, boss.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Okay. Cool.
Steven Navarro, a good-looking young fighter, be applying his trade at Madison Square Garden as part of the Xander Zayas, Jorge Garcia card on Saturday night. Also, Saturday night, Detroit live on the zone. Clarissa Shields takes on Lonnie Daniels for the undisputed heavyweight championship. Another big crowd. They're expecting a crowd for 15, 16,000 people there. So go for Clarissa Shields. She's becoming a real big draw here in the United States, at least in her home area, which is very big. She's talking big fights. She wants coaxed Layla Ali out of retirement, who hasn't fought in 18 years. So who knows? Friday night on the zone, Elijah Pierce takes on Michael Desmarinas in Atlanta, part of the OTX boxing series. O'Shea Jones takes on Ilya Carranza for the WB. I believe it's for a couple 154-pound world titles. Also, Friday night in Atlantic City, Andy Dominguez, light flyweight, takes on Byron Rojas. That'll take place at the Tropicana Hotel live on the zone. And earlier this week, I had a chance to talk to the 108-pound once beaten Andy Dominguez, and this is how it sounded. Now joining us on the line is flyweight Andy Dominguez, who takes on Byron Rojas this Friday night, July 25th, for the WBC USA Silver Flyweight Championship at the Tropicana Hotel in Atlantic City and live on the zone. Andy, what's happening?
Hey, what's up, guys? What's up? How's everything?
Everything's good. Thanks for giving us a few minutes of your time. So we got this big fight.
Hey, man, thank you for this invite.
So we got this big fight Friday night. What are your thoughts?
Good, man. Yeah, July 25th. I'll be fighting at the Tropicana, Atlantic City, under Boxing Insider Promotions. I'll be fighting for the WBC title, WBC USA Silver title. Feel good, man. I feel good. Just, these 2 days are I feel like this is what we call it, a fight before the fight, cutting the weight and stuff. But I feel good. Still have energy. Everything is good.
You're 12-1, 6 knockouts. You're fighting a real veteran there in Rojas, who's 29-4-3, a real vet in there. What does Rojas bring to the table?
Byron Rojas, he's a good fighter. And this is why we fighting him, because I just feel like he has so much experience that he could give me, and I mean, he's a former world champion, and I just feel like it will look good on my record. And also too, like, he has been calling out like these world champions like Mini Pac-Man, and like nobody has ever given him like nobody has ever fought him, like hasn't given an opportunity. And I think he deserves an opportunity, to fight for a big fight. Which I think this is a good fight,
You mentioned the fight before the fight, making weight, but there's also going to be a fight before a bigger fight. I know you're not looking past this fight on Friday night, but obviously with a win, it gets you in the WBC rankings. It opens up some doors. So is that something you've been thinking about a little bit?
Oh yeah, man. I mean, who wouldn't like to get ranked by the WBC? I feel like that's the most respectful belt, and yeah, man, I mean, hopefully that belt, hopefully the belt that I'll be winning July 25th, hopefully it opens up more doors for me, gives me more opportunities, and I'm sure it will, hopefully that gets me ranked up and get an opportunity to fight for a world title soon.
This fight be featured live on the zone. How do you feel about displaying your talents? Fans can be watching this all over the world on the number one source for boxing these days, the zone. Yeah,
it will be on the zone. I'll be the main event. Yeah, I got my people coming from New York to Atlantic City. We get in a bus. Yeah, man. Got my whole people supporting me.
How's that feel, that knowing that you're going to have a pretty good support system, cheering system, and Atlantic City's close to home, but it's like not in your backyard. People are actually traveling to watch you fight.
Yeah, I mean, I have a few people that couldn't make it because Thursday, like, is on Friday, and plus it's like is a little far from them. and people work. But I mean, I have a few people come in, and I mean, I'm always happy when even if it's 10, but 10 people come in. But this time I have people come in. It feels good, you know. Um, People supported me. It feels great.
This is a question I ask a lot of fighters who I interview that fight in the smaller weight class. I always say to them, if we were doing this interview a few years ago, you know, there may not be a lot of interest in these kind of fights. But now it's pretty hip now to be, you know, a flyweight, super flyweight. I mean, have you felt that in the past few years that the smaller weight divisions are getting the love that they deserve?
Actually, yeah, I feel like like flyweights, like small fighters are getting known already. Like they already like putting up cards, like Matchroom. I feel like Matchroom was the first person that actually showed out for the flyweights, which it was Bam and uh Carlos Cuadras, Chocolatito. And I feel like now that other promoters see that, you know, like they see that we bring we bring good fights to the table, and yeah, it feels good. I mean, finally, you know.
What's been the difference in your last couple fights since the last Yankee Rivera, who I believe is actually fighting for a world title coming up, and we'll get to that in a second. Last couple fights, got the win over Christopher Rios at 10-1. Your last fight, your last fight, you get the win over Angel Giovanni Morales. What's been the difference the last couple fights? What did you learn in that fight has made you a better fighter?
I mean, from Yankiel, I mean, so much experience, man. I learned a lot, you know, fighting an Olympian. It's even though like he beat me, but I feel like I learned a lot from him, and uh yeah, man, just I don't even know how to explain it, but yeah, I feel like I learned a lot. I learned a lot of mistakes, and I knew like I just feel like I try to work on my good habits. That's what it is. I
And,
mostly worked on my good habits.
and like I said before, this is a fight that kind of gets you in the rankings with a win. He may be, I think he's fighting for a world title. Obviously, I think that's been sticking your craw. You probably want to run that one back. And if you do, it could be for bigger stakes.
Oh yeah, I mean, hopefully, man. Well, this time he's fighting at 112. I'm fighting at 108. But if he gives me, I mean, if they call me, say, hey, can we get the rematch? I would definitely be down, man. That I think it will be another good fight.
What do you feel more comfortable at, 108 or 112?
Honestly, I feel like at 108, I feel way better. Like right now, I mean, like I'm 1 day away from weigh-ins, and I still feel good. You know, like my weight cutting is so good. Even at like, cause at 112, it was just I was easy making weight, and I feel like 108 like is even too. Like it's still it's not easy, but it's calm. You know, I can
Yeah.
handle it.
And I guess on the same thing, I guess one thing, we're talking about the smaller weight class before. One thing about, I guess, and tell me what your thoughts on this. You can kind of go through different weight classes because it's only 3 and 4 pounds difference. You have a couple meals, and you can blow right through 3 weight classes.
Exactly. Yeah, man. Yeah, I feel like yeah, I could shoot up to 115 if they want.
What do you want?
I have four at 150. Like I have four at 115. My amateur career was at 110, 114. So yeah, man, I could do that. But I would like to get I would like to get like I would like to stay on 108 and hopefully get a world title, and then from then move on, you know, to 112.
What do you want to say to the fans in closing before we see you this Friday night when you take on Byron Rojas for the WBC USA Silver light flyweight. I'm mistaken. I said flyweight for light flyweight title at the Tropicana Hotel Casino, Atlantic City. I guess also, if you want to mention fighting in Atlantic City, where a lot of the great fights have been over the last 25, 30 years. What are your thoughts fighting down there?
Hey, I mean, what I gotta say is you don't want to miss this fight. This is gonna be a good fight. Nicaragua versus Mexico, Mexico versus Nicaragua. I just feel like it always brings out good fights. And I know for sure I'm gonna bring out a good performance.
And where can we find you on social media?
Andy Dominguez, official. It could be on that's on Instagram, and on Facebook is Andy Dominguez.
There you have it, Andy Dominguez. We will see you. I'll be down there at the fights Friday night.
Oh, let's go! Hell yeah!
We'll see you. And if you get that, when you get that W.
No, when I get that, yes,
when you get
correct.
that W, we'll do a little post fight on site. So we
Correct.
will.
Yep. Let's do it. Let's do it.
Andy, thank you for a few minutes of your time. Best of luck. We'll see you Friday night.
Hey, thank you, man. I appreciate the invite. Thank you. Thank you for the interview. Appreciate it. Have a good day.
Good. Thank you, man. Andy Dominguez, light flyweight belt, the headline is 6-bout card, live on DAZN on Friday night. Bruce Allen Jr. will be on the card. Dion Butt, local Philadelphia fighter, will be on the card. Should be a good night of fights at the Tropicana in Atlantic City. Love going down to Atlantic City for fight nights. Always a great time. Some news of the week. Cruiserweight champion, unified cruiserweight champion, Gilberto Zerto Ramirez underwent shoulder surgery on July 19th to treat an injury sustained during his June 28th fight against Unel Dorticos. The procedure was successful, and Ramirez is recovering. So expect him back, probably the next 6 to 8 months or so while he gets his shoulder rehab. Former undisputed super lightweight champion Josh Taylor announced his retirement over social media, citing some problems with his eyes and stuff. Josh Taylor, the Tartan Tornado from Scotland, will call it a career. Saw his fight against Teofimo Lopez in person. A very good fighter. Losses to Teofimo Lopez and his last fight, where he dropped his last fight as well. So Josh Taylor calling it a career. WBO President Gustavo Oliveira announced that interim light heavyweight championship fight between Callum Smith and David Morrell will be ordered. Obviously, Dmitry Bivol is going ahead with his trilogy fight against Artur Beterbiev. The camps between Morrell and Callum Smith at 30 days to reach an agreement, or a purse bid will happen. I think that's a fight we mentioned last week after Morrell's fight against Kataev, because he's kind of on the outside looking in for a real big, one of the real big names. Callum Smith is still a big name. It's a great fight, too. I would love to see that fight between Callum Smith and David Morrell. Former world champion Regis Prograis, speaking of Josh Taylor, will take on Joseph Diaz Jr. as Jojo Diaz, as part of the August 2nd undercard, Kenneth Sims, Oscar Duarte. That will take place live on DAZN from Chicago. Prograis 29-3, 24 knockouts. Diaz 34-7, 15 knockouts. So not a bad little co-feature fight to Kenneth Sims and Duarte. Sims 22-1, 22-2-1, 8 knockouts. Duarte 29-2-1, 23 knockouts. The IBF number 1 fighter Lewis Crocker at welterweight. Number 3 Patty Donovan will rematch for the vacant championship that Boots Ennis just vacated. That will take place on September 13th in front of a big crowd at the Clear and Twist National Stadium in Belfast. That'll be shown live on DAZN. So Crocker and Donovan getting on. There was they getting hit after the bell. So they will rematch on September 13th. I guess September 13th is a big day. Canelo and Crawford that night in Las Vegas, and we will be there. We are officially confirmed in, so we will be there on September 13th. We'll be there all week, getting all the interviews with everybody. We'll be talking to everybody. So I look forward to being there on site at Allegiant Stadium on September 13th. Canelo and Crawford, biggest fight in boxing in the last several years. Also out in Las Vegas is a fighter by the name of Shane Mosley Jr., who we all know. And Mosley will be looking for a fight. He's been out of the ring. He got as high as number 1 in the world at middleweight and can't get a fight. So we had a chance to talk, and he tried to plead his case to get a big fight that he deserves. And this is how it went between myself and Shane Mosley Jr. Now joining me on the line is middleweight contender Shane Mosley Jr. Shane's been out of the ring for a little bit. Shane, what's been going on?
Man, just trying to make fights happen, and they seem to just fall short and fall out, unfortunately. But I'm ready and willing to fight. I'm actually moving up to 168 because I find that it's been harder to get fights at 160. So I feel like it's best to move up to 168 and try my luck out there.
I'm going to actually change the graphic as we speak. We change it now from middleweight this to super middleweight, just as you said that. So
Perfect.
talk about the last year. You were on quite a roll. You've won 5 straight fights, I believe. I don't know if you were. I know you were in the top 5, or I think maybe 2 or 3 in the WBA at middleweight. So you have all this momentum, and what happened?
I'm not sure. Maybe I wanted to fight Erislandy Lara. I was at one point, like you said, number 1, and then I got moved to number 2. And it just seemed like, I think he maybe wanted an easier fight, maybe bigger money fight. I'm not sure. So that fight never happened. And then I also had my name in the hat to fight Carlos Adames. Seems like he's giving a lot of people issues with trying to fight. It seems like even Turki Al-Sheikh has said that he's been problems with him trying to get a fight or make a fight happen. So yeah, that's kind of where I will stand with that. And then I've gotten a few kind of like last minute type of calls, and they've just fallen through.
Yeah,
Unfortunately.
I heard your name about a year ago, bandied about a fight with maybe Ian Green, maybe in a final eliminator.
Yeah.
And I think that one fell through as well. Are you still with Golden Boy?
No, I'm not.
Okay.
And that was a little bit of maybe some of the tie-up because obviously they have options. They also wanted to exercise their match clause. So for a while, like if anybody was looking to sign me, they could match it, stuff like that. So maybe that was some of the reasons why people kind of was like, oh, we'll just kind of hold off. And then in boxing, unfortunately, if you're not being talked about, you're forgotten. So, I'm trying to change that now.
And you, like I said, you were really hitting your stride, especially after the Brandon Adams loss. Like I said, you had some really good wins. The Danny Jacob win, obviously Demetrius Ballard. These are good. I mean, obviously Jacobs, his resume doesn't need to be explained, but Ballard was, a good record. A couple other guys in there. Are you fearful? I know you've been in the gym. You stay in the gym. Are you fearful though that momentum, kind of halted a little bit, or you think you're going to pick up right where you left off as soon as you get back in the ring?
Well, yeah, I think for me, I think the momentum is just going. I think I'm getting better as time goes on, and I'm standing and fighting that way. As far as the momentum of my, the outside of boxing, I may have calmed down, because people haven't seen you, in a long time. So they go, oh, well, maybe there's rust, maybe there's this and that. But not knowing that I've gotten ready for like 2 or 3 fights and prepared literally for 2 or 3 fights, and they just have fallen through. So yeah, I was looking to fight on the Canelo versus Crawford card. I initially, a few months back, I got a call to fight a guy by the name of Jaime Munguia. This is before his steroids thing happened. So and I agreed to fight him on the card. And obviously when that came up, that kind of goes out the window. um, you know, and then I saw that Steve Nelson had a opportunity to fight. It has the opportunity to fight on the Canelo Crawford card, and so I figured, he's 20-1. I'm 22-4. Feels like it's a good match, and unfortunately, his team got back to my team and said that he's not looking for a fight of my stature. I'm going to assume that means he wants a lighter fight.
You figure, you're going to fight on that kind of stage, Netflix, the whole world watching, hopefully hundreds of millions of people watching. You figure a guy on that card would want to, test himself. No?
I mean, why else are we in this game? I think that would be an important thing to do, right? You have, like I said, you have a golden ticket. You have the opportunity to get a slot on that card, one of the biggest fights in history, I'm sure. And you don't fight somebody that is going to test you, and I feel like I thought that he was on my level. I thought that he felt that he was on my level. What I mean? With a guy like 20-1, you would think that he's ready to fight for a good spot. And so I was thinking, okay, hey, we fight each other. There's other names watching. There's obviously they're fighting at super middleweight. They're fighting in our weight class. The rest of the world is watching. Maybe we can get a title eliminator fight. Maybe we can get something like that after. Maybe we fight, a guy like Berlanga or Pacheco or whoever else, right? Like there's other guys out there. If the Imbilis of the world, there's a list of names. Caleb Plant, there's so many names are on there. We put ourselves in a position to be seen, and then go and try to get those, big fights of our own. So you would think that would be the play. At least I thought so. And so if you needed a dance partner, I was your Huckleberry, and let's go, see who's real and who's not. And maybe he wasn't ready for that.
Well, why do you think? Obviously, I understand when guys don't want to fight undefeated guys, or guys who are 25-0 with 25 knockouts. You have a couple blemishes. Well, why do you think that guys don't want to fight you?
Because they've seen me turn it around. And guys that turn it around, they haven't allowed the blemishes to disrupt them, to hurt them. So then that becomes stronger.
Yeah.
It becomes fortified. And so that's a scary thing to do.
They look at you as a 5-0 fighter, not a 22-4 fighter. Pretty much is what you're saying. And on the same lines, actually, before I even asked that question, I was thinking of another question. I know you're out in Vegas now. Is the turnaround correlated with you going to Vegas and not in California, where Vegas you can get any type of sparring, any type of work? Not that you can't do that in LA, but all the top guys are out in Vegas.
Yeah, I like being here in Las Vegas. Obviously, I live out here, and this is where my family is. So I love it out here, and that's why I like training and being out here. And that's another reason why I want to fight out here. Because who doesn't love fighting out in Vegas?
You were in California, though, for the beginning part of your career, if I'm not mistaken, correct?
Yes, absolutely. I'm born and raised in California.
Yeah.
And then I moved out here like 8 years ago, and I love it.
So have you got any assurances that, is there still a possibility to get on that card, or at this point you're just looking for the biggest and best opportunity? You mentioned guys who are aligned with different promoters. So I guess the promotional outfit really doesn't matter to you. You just need that opportunity.
Absolutely. That's all we got. We got opportunities, and you try to take advantage of those opportunities when you get them, right? So you got to make as much noise as you possibly can, help you get seen, and then do what the best you can with that opportunity. So right now, like I said, I was just trying to, raise my hand to an opportunity that I thought was available. I thought that with an opportunity like that, I felt like you would want to fight somebody of note so that you can get seen and recognized for the fighter that I thought that you were.
I mean, obviously, I mean, you've been around this game, since you were in the womb, with your father's career, the politics of boxing. I mean, growing up, watching your dad. I mean, you saw the politics of boxing go to work. How it happens, or in this case, doesn't happen.
Yeah.
It's you had Golden Boy behind you one time. Are you surprised that you've been in this position?
Not particularly. Like I said, I've gotten opportunities. Like I've gotten a lot of great opportunities. So I'm not upset about that. It's just when you separate from people, things kind of get lost in the wash. I love Golden Boy, and I think that they were a great promotional company for me at the time. I thought that I was going to be able to have other opportunities afterwards. And I still think that there's opportunities out there for me. I just have to kind of just wade through it, unfortunately. Like I said, I got a call to fight Jaime Munguia to be the co-main event on this card. And I accepted it. It was unfortunate, but, he got popped for steroids. And obviously, he shouldn't be able to fight, at least in the near future.
Mm-hmm.
So I get that. I would love to fight him in the future. I think that'd be a great fight. I also feel like Saras deserves an opportunity too because he got cheated out of a fight. Clearly, he knocked the guy out. The guy got scared and felt like he needed to take steroids to even the playing field. So, with that being said, maybe he deserves a fight, and I would love to give him a fight too. I would love to fight. I don't remember his first name, but Saras. So I think it's like Bruno Saras or something like that.
Yeah, the guy who Munguia.
Yep, got knocked out by.
He knocked him out and then lost the decision on the other end. Yeah.
Yeah, but he got popped for steroids, so it's like, how real is that? Maybe the guy would have beat him the second time. So you never know. And so I think with that, he deserves a opportunity. And so maybe that's a possibility as well. So I would love to, even if it's not on this particular fight, I would love to give him an opportunity later, and then maybe the winner can fight Munguia. So just throwing out options for the possibilities for myself.
You like say you just mentioned beginning of this interview, you're moving to 168. Is 160 clearly behind you, or if there's the right opportunity, like you said, you're just starving for sounds like you're starving for an opportunity. If the right opportunity, the right phone call came in for 160, could you still make that?
Yeah, I think that I could, like I said, for the right opportunity, right time frame, right? If they didn't call me with 4 weeks notice, hey, you want to fight at 160?
Full training camp, you need to make 160.
Yeah, absolutely. But campaigning at 160 for a year, not getting any fight, and it's a little discouraging. And like I'm not a young guy anymore. I'm 130, 135. I'm 35 years old, or 34 years old, about to be 35. So it, it's like, why do that? Especially like when you talk about big fights, which big fights are there to make at 160 that are going to make a lot of noise? There's not many, Carlos Adames, Erislandy Lara, and Janabek, right? Now, a fight like, let's just say, Munguia is bigger, more money, all of these things than all three of those fights, unfortunately. And then there's no disrespect to those guys. It just is what it is. So it's like, why starve myself and wait for an opportunity for that when I can potentially make a fight at 168? And truth is that I fought my last fight at 168 and I beat a great fighter in Danny Jacobs at 168. So I feel like I'm confident in that area. Also, I beat a very competent fighter in Gabriel Rosado when Gabe was going on a run of his own.
Mm-hmm.
So with that being said, I feel like I'm comfortable at 168. I can handle myself there.
And like you mentioned, I think 168, you mentioned, Munguia, Shiraz, who's now a major player, and Billy, who's a major player. And I guess you republish reports, and Billy may wind up on that card possibly. I think they're talking about a guy named Lester Martin. So there are big opportunities there at 168, and I think the way these games shake out. I think there's a good chance you'll land, whether it's the winner of some of these fights, the loser, because they're big names as well, of some of these fights. Shane Mosley Jr. is ready, willing, and able, it seems like.
Yeah.
What do you want to say to the fans in closing before we let you go?
Man, I want to just say thank you. Thank you for not forgetting about me. And thank you for listening to me if you've watched this. And
you gave me some good headlines for this video. So, you're basically, without calling guys out, you're calling them out pretty much. Without, these are just guys that you would like to fight. You feel that these opportunities, could be presented. I mean, do you have like I would imagine you probably could take a fight, a lesser fight, just to get back in there. Do you have like a certain drop dead date that you need to be in the ring by, or else maybe?
No, man, I live this, and so there's no real I have to do this. I just want to fight. I mean, I want to be great. I want to be seen. Obviously this is what I love to do. This is what I've given my life to. So why not strive for an opportunity?
Yeah.
Right? Even if it's like a Stephen Butler or a Resendez, Caleb Plant, any of these guys, man. Let's make this stuff happen. I feel like these are great opportunities. I mean, Charlo's out there. There's a whole list of guys at 168 that are great big fights that can be made with me, and that's what I would like to do. So
Caleb's around Vegas here. Maybe you got to find a way to bump into him and say, "Hey, let's get this done."
Yeah. Maybe
he frequents. He's at a lot of the different gyms there in Vegas. So respectfully, I mean, obviously, I don't know if he's going to fight Resendez in a rematch or whatever, but he obviously
probably will. He probably will. I'm going to assume that that's what he would want to do. Kind of get that back, get back on track to fight Jamal Charlo. Excuse me. Get back on track to fight Jamal Charlo, I should say.
Yeah.
So they would want to make that fight happen, because obviously that was a big fight for PBC and the whole Amazon network, right? That would be a big money draw, and that kind of got lost in the wash. So if they were to kind of rehash that, do that again, kind of make it right, fight that fight, and then maybe Resendez, if Caleb wins, could get the rematch with him, and then you got kind of like that whole thing. So you got that universe, I guess you would say. So they probably have something on track, but wherever the opportunity is, I'm open and willing.
I usually don't play matchmaker on these interviews, but I don't know. I'm just throwing stuff in the air. Maybe do what they just tried to do. They put them both on the same card to try to match them up, come up the fall. How about this one for you? How about Plant fights Resendez in the rematch, and maybe Jamal Charlo, Shane Mosley Jr.? How about you just put it on the same card? You like it?
I don't hate it. I don't hate it.
I don't know, because I know what they try to do now. They put the guys on the same card to try to build it, and then let's have the winners meet. I don't know, just throwing that out there.
Yeah, like tournament style, basically. Yeah, I like that. Obviously, I was on the Contender, so I'm very well versed on that.
well, like I said, we'll be watching and listening for what that next move is going to be. Shane, thank you for a few minutes time. Real quickly, where they find you on the social media?
We got Shane Mosley Jr. on Instagram, at one Shane Mosley Jr. on X, and Shane Mosley Jr. on TikTok.
There you have it, Shane Mosley Jr. Thank you for a few minutes of your time. Like I said, we'll be watching, and hopefully we'll see you in a ring very, very soon.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate you.
Thank you, man. And Shane Mosley Jr., a lot of interesting things to see. He's just trying to get back in front, try to get a good fight. He deserved it. He won 4 in a row, beats Rosado, beats Jacobs. He has as much right to, get some of these bigger fights as anyone else, especially at 168 pounds now. So that's our show for the week. I want to thank Andy Dominguez, Steven Navarro, Shane Mosley Jr. Get ready to be at all the fights. So we'll have a lot of new content coming on Abrams Boxing on YouTube, Abrams Boxing, like I said, on YouTube, 15rounds.com, theboxinghour.com. Stay tuned. We'll be ringside for all the fights this week. We'll talk to you next week. I'm Marc Abrams, and enjoy the fights.